A while back I discovered a song by Namika called Zirkus. There is a lot one can learn from this song about the German language. Rather than do my usual lyrical analysis one line at a time, I thought I would try something a bit of a different style. I'd like to take you topic by topic as it shows up in the song, and then you can watch the music video to see what I'm talking about. These topics that I'll be explaining today are as follows: present tense conjugation, dative case with certain prepositions, idioms, and slang. The first lesson taught by this song is present tense conjugation. It shows you examples of the ich, du, er, sie, es, and plural sie forms of present tense verbs. It even shows you a variety of verbs, so you get different versions of present tense conjugation, including stem-changing verbs and modal auxiliaries. Let's see an example of a basic regular verb. Die Show geht los. The show is starting. This is a line from the song. It uses the er, sie, es form of the verb gehen, to go. The full conjugation would be ich gehe, du gehst, er, sie, es geht, wir gehen, ihr geht, sie gehen. In order to conjugate a German verb, you simply remove the en at the end and add the ending that matches the subject of the sentence. For those of you who are wondering why the song translates as "the show is starting" instead of something that has "go" in it, you can thank the separable prefix for that. The prefix los was used in the original sentence, which changed gehen from to go to start. Losgehen. An example of a stem-changing verb from the song would be Du siehst konzentrische Ringe in deinem Teeglas. You see concentric rings, or circles, in your tea glass. This shows you the do form of the verb sehen. This verb has a stem change from e to ie. The full conjugation is ich sehe, du siehst, er, sie, es sieht, wir sehen, ihr seht, sie sehen. As you can see in this conjugation chart, the only forms of the verb that are different are the do and er, sie, es forms. Instead of e in the middle, they have ie. There are three kinds of stem-changing verbs in German. Some change from a to a umlaut, others change from e to I, and some, like sehen, change from e to ie. There's an example of an e to I verb in this song as well. The verb geben has this change. It usually means to give, but when used with the pronoun es, it means there is or there are. This is how it's used in the following line. Heute gibt es Action. Today there is action. There are also a few examples of the verb sein, which is completely irregular and doesn't follow any of the usual conjugation conventions. You can see it in action in the following examples. Die besten Plätze sind gecheckt. The best places have been checked. Das Styling ist perfekt. The styling is perfect. This one only gives you two forms of sein, however. The full conjugation is as follows. Ich bin, du bist, er, sie, es ist, wir sind, ihr seid, sie sind. Another slightly odd example from this song includes this sentence. Alle Lampen sind am glühen. All of the lamps, or lights, are glowing, or they're on. In other videos that I made about the German present tense, I've mentioned that there is no German progressive tense. This is when you say things like are glowing in English. This is usually translated as glühen, which means the original sentence would mean alle Lampen glühen. There are those, however, who use a form of sein, to be, and a prepositional phrase with am at the beginning, and a German infinitive used as a noun known as a gerund. That's what's happening in this sentence. This is used in certain German dialects. The most common dialect that uses sein and am to express sentences like this is the Rhinelandic dialect, which is spoken, you guessed it, around the Rhine River. Bottom line, if you aren't a native German speaker, I don't recommend using this kind of construction to express an action that is currently happening. The preferred version would just include the adverb gerade, which means right now. If you change the line to Alle Lampen glühen gerade, the meaning would not change. This is most likely a stylistic choice by Namika in this song. The last example of the present tense that I'd like to draw attention to is the line, Ich kann zaubern wie Houdini. I can do magic like Houdini. This line includes a modal auxiliary, specifically können, which means can, and an infinitive. It's a good reminder that the use of a modal auxiliary with another verb requires an infinitive. Normally this goes at the end of the sentence, but in this particular sentence, we actually have a shortened version of a secondary clause. It usually would say, Ich kann zaubern wie Houdini zaubern kann. But instead, we just shorten it down to wie Houdini, because it's easier to say, and it works better for the song in this instance. For more information about the present tense in German, you can find a link in the corner of this video or in the description to my 1-hour-long masterclass about the present tense. There you will learn everything you will ever need to know about the present tense in German. There are also quite a few examples of the dative case in this song. These lines can help you get a lot of insight into the use of this case. All of the examples in this song include prepositions that are used with the dative case. The most basic ones on the list are the two instances of the preposition aus. For example, springen zu 10 aus jedem Taxi, tanzen jeden Club kaputt. Jump as 10, or 10 at once, out of every taxi, dance every club broken, or dance until the club breaks down. Lass die Püppchen aus dem Käfig und die Affen rennen im Kreis. Let the dolls out of the cage and the monkeys are running in a circle. In these two examples, we have a neuter noun, taxi, and a masculine noun, Käfig. They both require an M at the end of the article to indicate the dative case. In the first one, it takes the form jedem. In the second, dem. Several other examples also require an M for the ending, but they are abbreviated in some way. The standard abbreviations can be seen in the following examples. Vögel twittern es vom Dach. Birds are tweeting it from the roof. Alle Lampen sind am Glühen. All of the lights are on. Lass es Konfetti regnen für einen Moment im Leben. Let it rain confetti for one moment in life. In each of these examples, we take the original preposition such as von, an, or in, and change the last letter from an N to an M. This indicates that what follows is either a masculine or neuter noun in the dative case. Von plus dem equals vom. An plus dem equals am. In plus dem equals im. The last example is a non-traditional abbreviation and is simply done to aid with the song lyrics. Instead of saying in deinem Teeglas, she says in deim Teeglas. The meaning is the same, but it isn't the kind of abbreviation that I recommend for non-native speakers, as it's very colloquial and it may give the impression that you're more fluent than you really are. Du siehst konzentrische Ringe in deinem Teeglas. You see concentric rings, or circles, in your tea glass. There is only one example of the dative case with a noun that is not masculine or neuter. Technically, there are two, but they're in the same sentence. In der Bar zur blauen Klatsche, auf'n Gläschen oder 10. In the bar, to the blue swatter, for a little glass or drink, or 10. In der Bar shows us that the dative article for feminine nouns is der. In the next prepositional phrase, we see zur, which is again a kind of shortened version of zu der. This is similar to the abbreviations that we saw with the masculine forms. If you're looking for more insight into the dative case in German, there is a link in the description to my 1-hour-long masterclass about the dative case. There you can learn everything you will ever need to know about the German dative case. The last thing that I think Namika's song Zirkus teaches us very well are idioms and slang. While the song itself is full of slang and idioms that you won't hear in a traditional classroom, the video is also a good source of information. Let's start with the song lyrics. Eine Gruppe aufmachen is the phrase that you use when you start a group chat or a WhatsApp group or whatever it is that you kids are using nowadays to chat with your friends via your phone. Heute gibt es Action is a phrase that I would never use in English, as the translation would be today there is action. That simply doesn't make any sense in English. I understand what is meant, however. It's a way of saying that there's a lot going on tonight. It's kind of like a version of lit, although that is also in the music video. Twittern is the verb to tweet, but is only used when talking about Twitter. In this song, it's actually used as a pun because the original verb should have been zwitschern, for the birds are tweeting it from the roof, but they used the word twittern instead to kind of bring in that nuanced vibe of Twitter instead. Zu zehnt is a phrase that I, for some reason, never learned in college. If you say zu followed by a number that ends with a t, it means a group of that number. So zu zweit is a pair, or zu dritt is in a group of 3, zu viert is a group of 4, and so on. If you watch the music video, you can get a feel for the way that native German speakers text and interact online. The video is set up as an Instagram live video with hashtags, a comment feed, and stickers. The text in the chat isn't really slang per se, but it does show you a bit of insight into the daily online conversations of native German speakers. Now that you know what you're looking for in this song, you should click the link in the description and watch the actual music video for yourself. Das ist alles für heute. Danke fürs Zuschauen. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss!